أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. So alhamdulillah, last few days I explained the meaning of Surah Al-Fatiha. Though still there are many points very important inshallah, but some other time I keep mentioning. But the main thing is that the surah basically is like a natural message, that how people naturally they want to thank. If somebody does favor upon you, you want to thank him. So from the thank it leads the people to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask him help. And the most important help is to ask Allah to guide us how do we live in this world. That's the most important help, because in this world we don't know really how to live. For example, how to make food and how to have drink. These things people can learn from their own experience. But the main thing, how to live in this world as a human being, as slave of our master, we cannot know our mind. That is the main thing, we need his help. For other things, you need his help, but even if he does not help, still he has given you mind. The mind can find out how to eat and drink, how to make money. You can see even the unbelievers who don't believe in Allah, they can do this. But the main thing for which mind cannot help us, we need his help directly. That is the guidance, that how to live in this world. It is something people cannot discover from their own mind. So that's why we ask him for help. Ehdina, guide us. And then he told us guidance will come. Guidance will come through instruction. He will instruct us how to. He's not going to hold our hand, instruction. But also, he will send messengers so we can see them and follow them. So guidance will not be abstract. It actually be through the messengers. And the messengers, and also messengers, they have their own followers. Siddiqeen, Shuhada, Salihin. In every time there must be some Salihin, some righteous people. You follow them and you can reach. And one of the important quality of this Salihin in the Quran mentioned is what? The prayer. That in Surah Maryam has come, that the people who are mun'am alayhim, on whom Allah has done favor, what they do? First thing they do, the prayer. And the people who deviate from their path, what they first neglected? The prayer. The Quran, فَخَلَفَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةَ. After those prophets, messengers, siddiqeen, shuhada, salihin, a new generation came, and what they did? They wasted the prayer. They did not give importance to the prayer. That actually always happened. The first thing that always affected the prayer. Khushu goes, humility goes, then the people are disconnected from their Lord. It could be people keep doing ruku and sajda, but without any spirit, without soul. To mun'am alayhim, the first major quality of mun'am alayhim, the salah. Iqamatul salah, establishing the prayer, doing the prayer properly. And the people who deviate from their path, their first identity is what? They don't give importance to the prayer. You can see in our time, many Muslim movement, they came. To them, the prayer is the last thing. They don't think that it really matters. They teach you something else. They teach you protest, they teach you to march, they teach you this and that. Actually, when they're protesting, most of them, they are neglecting the prayer. They miss the prayer. Tell me, if your messenger is there, is he going to do this? If you're led by a messenger, is he going to, on the time of the Zuhr and Asr, he will make you to protest and leave the prayer? Impossible. Because that is the most important thing they do. So that is really very clear, that the main thing Allah wants from the believers is to worship him, and the main part of worship is the ibadah, the salah. Now coming these surahs, which actually most people recite their prayers from Surah Al-Fil to Surah al-Nas. You can see the same point again emphasized very clearly. Surah Al-Fil is a very important story, but before you understand Surah Al-Fil, understand the Quran is talking from Surah Al-Qari'ah, 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 then al-Hakum al-Takathur, then wal-Asr, and then walil kullu humaza. Quran is discussing the people of Quraysh in Makkah al-Mukarramah in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Before that, Quran is talking these people of Quraysh. Only concern they have got what? Money. Just business, trade, all the time just money, making more money. And second concern their family, children. They want to have many boys, many children. Because manpower is very important in tribal society. So only two things they are concerned. The children and the money. They want to have a big family and they want to have a lot of money. And no doubt, if you spend so much time on the money, earning money and making money, and you spend so much time on the food, on the family, tell me what will happen. then you cannot do prayer. You cannot really know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So from Surah Al-Qari'ah to Surah Al-Humaza, this is mentioned. The love of the family, love of the children, and love of the money has made Quraysh to neglect their duties, not to learn the prayer, not to do ibadah. Worship has become, basically they have turned away from the worship. Ibadah is not important to them. Only thing important to them is how to earn money and how to have more children. So love of the children and love of the money. And if you look really, this is the illness of the people all the time. In our time, anywhere you go, what people's concern is? People's concern is the money, and the people's concern is their own family. They always want their family to be happy and to make them, to enjoy their life in this world, and for enjoyment they want to spend money. They take them for holidays, and in the house, they make all the arrangement people can be happy. In the reality of the matter, in England, when you see a Muslim, you say Assalamu alaikum and he says Assalamu alaikum. And when you see an unbeliever, he will say good morning, good afternoon, something like that, and you say like that. This is a difference you can feel. But when you go to home, same house, unbelievers have TV, you have TV. Unbelievers, same food, you have same food. They want to enjoy the family, we want to enjoy the family. In the house, we are same. And the Quran said about unbelievers in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give their book of deed in the left hand. And they will say, white in the left hand, the Quran says the reason is that innahu kana fi ahlihi masura, because he in his family was happy. Being happy in the family is actually one of the reasons why people actually are going to be punished. Why in the fire of hell? Quran says innahu kana fi ahlihi masura. His own concern is the family and to make more money to make them happy. So if the family wants TV, bring TV. If family wants any most advanced mobile phone, you bring that. Whatever family asks you, you keep doing. You want to make family happy. You are happy and your family happy. And family's happiness depends on what? Money. So the only concern people in our time have got money and the family. That's what Quran said about Quraysh. From Surah Al-Qari'ah to Surah Humaza, this illness has been emphasized. The love of the money and love of the family have made the Quraysh not even to think about ibadah. They don't even ibadah has become source of money. The house that Ibrahim al-Salam built, to turn away people from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that house became for Quraysh source of income. Because of the Baytullah, Arabs used to come for a Hajj, and it's such a big gathering, such a big group, they wanted to make money. They said so many people coming, let's actually think how to make money from the people. So people are coming there, the only purpose is to turn away from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now that Hajj has become turned into to make more and more money. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making very clear that the Hajj, the house, your father made you to settle here for ibadah. And I promise him that if your children keep doing ibadah, I will keep giving us food. You left the ibadah and now you are busy in the money. So this is important to learn. So from Surah Qari'ah to Surah Humaza, the main illness of Quraysh has been mentioned, love of money and love of the children. Then now coming Surah Al-Fil. Surah Al-Fil actually important, very important in that connection, because after all this, no ibadah, no action. Still Quraysh used to think they are the best people. If you ask them why you are best people, they say because our father is Ibrahim and we are children of Ibrahim, we are the chosen people. The Quran is saying, your actions are this. You love money and you love the family, house, you love children, and you don't do ibadah, no prayer, and you make the house source of money, and you think you are children of Ibrahim. Did your father Ibrahim do the same thing? Think really why Allah loved Ibrahim? Because he used to make money. Did Allah love Ibrahim because he wanted to make his children happy? Ibrahim actually was the one who wanted to sacrifice his son. When Ibrahim built the Kaaba, did he build the Kaaba because this is the best place to make business or trade? Think probably. Now many Muslims, they know, because the Muslims are so much influenced by many people who are writing book on Makkah al-Mukarramah. They also want to show that how important Makkah has been in the history, and it is center of the trade and business, and and Indian trade and European trade. They used to meet in Makkah al-Mukarramah, and this is center of all the business and things in the world. That's why Ibrahim chose Makkah al-Mukarramah to make a center of business in the world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, think really, you think you are chosen because you are son of Ibrahim, but your father Ibrahim never had interest in money, never in the family. You can see. he leaves his wife and son alone, and then he comes back and sacrifices them. And money never had, if had been his money is concerned, they would have made his family to settle next to nice settlement. But he said, I made my family to settle in wadi, in a valley, where there nothing grows. So this is that why now this surah is very Surah al-Fil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell the Quraysh that the reason that you have got honor and respect is because your father Ibrahim has taught you ibadah. This house actually is only for ibadah. If you do ibadah, then our promise is to look after you. But if you don't do ibadah, no promise, then no more chosen. So now Surah al-Fil is coming. In Surah al-Fil, the story is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell them, look how much favor you have got. Your money and your children could not help you. These people from Yemen, and the story is, let me make the background very clear. So in the year Christian era 525, people of the Abyssinia, the Habashan people, they got power here in Yemen. They got the power with the help of Roman Empire. The Romans were helping them, so they got the power there. And then later on, there became one of the great commander of a Roman Empire. His name was Abraha. He was also Christian. Abraha means Ibrahim. You can see there was Ibrahim who built the Kaaba. Now there new Ibrahim is coming who want to demolish the Kaaba. So Abraha means that language Ibrahim. So what Abraha got the Yemen in his control. Actually, he claimed he's like a king. He behaving like that, though he was representing the Roman emperor. What he did not like the Kaaba, and he was very much shocked, amazed, or surprised that all Arabs they go for pilgrim to Makkah al-Mukarramah to do ibadah there and to do Hajj there. And he was thinking, this is desert, nothing there, no life there, and a small building, very modest, nothing there, just some stones, nothing else. The Kaaba, if you see original building, even now it is much advanced, but just think there's no masjid. In the time of that time there was no masjid other than the Kaaba, and the Kaaba was smaller and built by Ibrahim and by his son Ismail. No, there was no builder, no engineer. Actually this is the only building in the whole world which exists, which has been built by two messengers. There is no building in the world which actually exists and have been built by two messengers. This is the only building, two messengers. There was no engineer, there was nobody helping actually. There were only two people. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam built the mosque of Medina, he is also messenger, but his companions are helping him. But when Ibrahim built the Kaaba, nobody. Quran says, وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ. When Ibrahim and Ismail both were raising the foundations of house. So these two people have built very modest building, because the purpose was not to make a building attractive. The purpose was to have a house where people can worship their Lord. So Abraha think it is such actually modest building. Why Arabs are so much attracted to this building? So he made very magnificent, very very big, attractive center of worship in Yemen, and he asked all Arabs, instead of going for Hajj there, come and do Hajj here in Yemen. Still people did not listen to him, and still they continued to do Hajj in Makkah. He was really very jealous, and he was jealous of Arabs' religion and all those things. So it came to his mind, if I go and destroy this building, then Arabs have no choice but to come to my house. So Allah was reminding Arab people, see really, when this big army of him, and actually he has got 60,000 elephants with him. In their 570, he moves from Yemen with 60,000 elephants. There are many more big army, but 60,000 elephants are there. And Arabs have no idea of elephants. Like in the story of Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi, who came to study with Malik from Spain. So he said, when I was studying with Malik, Muwatta was, he was teaching Muwatta and everybody was there. And suddenly an elephant came to Medina. The people say, al-Fil, the elephant has come, elephant. All the people in the classroom, they left Imam Malik and they went to see elephant. Only I was left. So Imam Malik said to me, why don't you go? Because in Spain also there is no elephant. You should go and see. So then Yahya said, I have come all the way from Spain to see you, not the elephant. So Imam Malik said, Yahya is the wise man of Spain. So no doubt about this. The elephant was very rare here. And now if an army comes with 60,000 elephants, Arabs, I don't think they can fight easily. That's what he did. And he came there. But still, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to say that you could not fight, though Arabs actually made effort to fight, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped them. So everywhere where the army passed by, Arab tribes used to fight them. Little fight, whatever they could do, they did not like this army march and go destroy the Kaaba. So wherever they passed by, Arab tribes used to come attack them in hiding, whatever they did, until the army came there. Now the story, there are two versions of the story. One popular version, which everybody actually believes and people follow, which has many problems, which actually is not consistent with the Quran, not consistent with the history, it's not consistent with the Arab people's nature. One story, the popular is that when Abraha's army came, leader of Quraysh was Abdul Muttalib, grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ. He realized that he cannot fight Abraha. So he asked all Quraysh to leave Makkah and to climb the mountain around Makkah. Just go to mountain and make dua so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can destroy this army. And when army was camping outside Makkah al-Mukarramah, one day and Abdul Muttalib was a rich man, his camels were also grazing outside. So Abraha's people, they took 100 camels of Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib found out, so he came and he wanted to discuss with Abraha. So people said to Abraha, the leader of Quraysh, he is coming to discuss with you. So he, respect of people of Quraysh and he thought he is going to discuss with me that don't destroy the Kaaba. When he came, Abdul Muttalib said to him that your people have taken my 100 camels. Abraha said, before you came, you were very high in my mind. I was thinking going to discuss with me about this house, which is your honor. I'm going to destroy that. And you're only talking about your camels. You become low in my eye. So Abdul Muttalib said, I am the Rab of the camel. I am the owner of the camel, and house also has got owner. I am concerned about my property, and the house has the owner. He will take care of that. So anyway, Abraha returned back his camels, and he came back. And then after that, the day Abraha was about to attack, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an army of small birds. They taken the stone, in their feet, and they started dropping the stones at the army of Abraha, and the whole army was destroyed. In this story, the problem is Arabs did not fight anything. Quraysh took refuge to the mountains. There was no fighting. This story is not consistent. Why? Because you can see whenever the Quraysh, Abraha's army passed by any tribe, all the historians say small tribes used to come to attack them. They fight them. Some people were killed in fighting Abraha. And the real place where Abraha is coming, and Quraysh were known to be with ghaira, with fighting, with power and all those things, they just run away. They did not fight, surrender the house. It doesn't go, it doesn't meet actually with the ghaira. So that's why, one of the another version which you can find from some books of history, and which Maulana Farahi has preferred, the story basically, no doubt, is favored from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best story actually is that when Abraha came, he had a good planning. His plan was to come to Makkah in a time when Arabs don't fight. So he came in the month of Dhul Hijjah, or beginning Muharram. This month, he knows that the Arabs have no fighting in the month of Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. These 4 months Arabs don't fight. So here realized the Quran says, Alam yaj'al Rabb, Quran says, فَجَعَلَ كَيْدَهُمْ Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil. Didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make their strategy, their planning into failure? So there was plan. There was a big planning, a big strategy to take the Kaaba, to destroy the Kaaba. So the plan was to come to Makkah in a time when Arabs don't fight, don't have weapon. So he came in the time of the Hajj. Second thing was coming in a time when Arabs really are about so tired. Last day of Hajj. That was when people, because in the beginning of the Hajj, people come there and they stay many in Mina, poetry, competition, market, all those happening. Then after that, 9th Dhul-Hijjah, they go to Arafat. Night, they come to Muzdalifah. Then 10th, 11th, 12th, they are in Mina. And after that, they leave. When last day of Mina came, that was his plan to come to Makkah. So Arabs are so tired, they're leaving Makkah, so nobody can fight. And they take over Kaaba easily. That's what his planning was. So they make all this planning. So, think this was happening. But Arab, no doubt, Quraysh people have no power to fight them. But Quraysh always had honor. You can see even actually if they are weakest people, you never can find Arab people, they leave the battlefield. Leaving the battlefield for them is very, very shameful. So we cannot imagine that such a big thing happening. People are coming to destroy the Kaaba, and Kaaba is their honor, and they run away. So what actually the story would have emerged, what happens is, when Abraha's army came, and they reached Mina, and in Mina they placed Muhassab, Muhassar, Wadi of Muhassar. There actually in Mina, you can stay any place, but not in Muhassar. So when he came to that place, and Arabs were on the other side, Arabs started, throwing the stone on the army, because Arabs didn't have weapon at the time, because weapons were at home, because when they come for Hajj, they don't carry the weapon, so they are stoning them. Like you can see, what happened in Palestine sometimes, people just fight with the stones. So Arabs were fighting with the stones, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned those stones into something, basically killing the Abraha's army. So Abraha's army was destroyed by those stones and killed, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the birds, and birds came and they ate them. Big humiliation. The army was destroyed and they're eaten by the birds. Nothing was left. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding Quraysh people, think really that your honor is the house, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always protected the house. And because of the house you are protected. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had led the army to take over the house, your honor is gone. You had no honor. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped you to fight Abraha and his army to defeat them. So that big favor is reminded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah al-Fil. In Surah Quraysh, Allah mentions that since we protected the house from Abraha and his army, we gave Quraysh two responsibilities. One responsibility is ibadah, that since we gave you the house, protected the house from the army, now you need to worship me. You have to worship me, and you have to feed the food to the poor people. That was the two responsibilities from the time Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam also, when he built the Kaaba, the purpose was to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the house, and the second purpose was those people who come for pilgrims, to give them money, to give them food, because they're coming far away. Sometimes the food is finished, they don't have enough food, and sometimes also they don't have any place to live. So Meccan people were advised to leave Mecca in those days, go and live in the mountain. So pilgrims, they can come and stay in Makkah al-Mukarramah, host people. So the building of the house by Ibrahim actually had made two big responsibilities on the children of Ibrahim. One responsibility was children of Ibrahim, they must worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the second responsibility was children of Ibrahim must look after the pilgrims. Those who come to learn how to worship, those who come to do ibadah, those who want to come to Hajj, children of Ibrahim, they have to help them. They have to look after them. Two responsibilities, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and feeding the poor people. But throughout the generation, what happens is Quraysh actually, instead of worshipping, they left ibadah. Instead of helping people, they actually made the Hajj a source of income, making more and more money. Like in our time actually, you can see in the time of the Hajj, everything here becomes much more expensive. Quraysh were advised that in the time of the Hajj, you leave the houses, so people can come and they live there easily. Now in the time of the Hajj, the rent of the houses here is multiplied by many, many times. The business, that's how Quraysh used to do. They used to make, they think, hey, so many people coming anyway, because the region make more and more money. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that your father has made two duties upon you, ibadah and feeding the poor people. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made another favor upon Quraysh, and he saved the house from the Abraha and his army. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded the Arab these two favors again. Do ibadah and feed the poor people. That has mentioned in Surah Quraysh. Next surah is Surah Ma'un. In Surah Ma'un, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, but Quraysh people, they failed in both things. As for the prayer and ibadah, Quran said, they do mura'at, they do riya. Quran said about them, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Duty of Quraysh was to do ibadah, and ibadah is the prayer. But these people of Quraysh, they don't do ibadah. They actually neglect their ibadah. And if they do anything, they do showing off. Sometimes they used to do something by just showing off. Ibadah gone. Second duty was what? To feed the poor people. About the feeding the poor people, Quran said about them, وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَعُونَ. Ma'un are small things which in the kitchen, which anybody can let anybody. For example, when you if you in India and Pakistan, in the villages, when women make food, sometimes they don't have salt. They ask their neighbors, salt, they give. Sometimes you don't have certain plate, ask them. Sometimes you don't have egg, something you don't have oil, ask them, they give you. Everybody gives. Quraysh people, these leaders, they become so mean. Even those small things which anybody can give, they stop. So think really, do they deserve to have Kaaba? Kaaba was for two purposes. To worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do prayer, and second purpose was to feed the people. Kaaba has got two purposes for the people. Kaaba brings two duties on Quraysh. One is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do the prayer, and second thing is what? To feed the poor people, to look after the poor. And Quraysh failed in both things. In Surah Al-Ma'un mentioned Quraysh have failed. So then in Surah Al-Kawthar comes, Inna a'ataynaka al-Kawthar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying now Quraysh don't deserve to have Kaaba because they don't do anything. So, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now have taken the Kaaba from them and given to you. So now the Kaaba has been taken from Quraysh and given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah reminds the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you also have got two duties. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Do prayer for your Lord, do ibadah, wanhar, and sacrifice the animal and feed the poor people. So now because the Kaaba, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has got two duties. Salah, prayer and sacrifice to feed the poor people. Then Surah Al-Kafirun, Quran mentioned, now these unbelievers, there is no hope from them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, for you, your religion, and for Muhammad's religion, there is no compromise anymore. Compromise finished. And then after that, Surah Al-Fath said that victory will come for the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Surah Tabbat Yada Abi Lahab mentioned that kufr's hands are broken. Now kufr is in full defeat. And Qul Huwallahu Ahad is establishment of a pure tawheed and pure ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the face of the earth. And last two surah, they are protection of the whole message, like protecting. Like you have two guards on the if you have fort on the gate, you have got two guards who protect the place. So this actually are the summary of the message from Surah Al-Fil to Surah al-Nas. So Surah Al-Fil is reminding Quraysh that the house was in danger, in a threat. Invading army could have taken the house and destroyed it completely, and then your honor would have gone, and there would have no chance for any business, any trade, or anything to make money. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made upon you a second favor, and He saved the house, protected the house from the army. But He made obligatory upon you that you must worship the Lord of the house. Is it clear? Now we finish the essential, then you can ask question. So Quran says, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. So Alam tara means, didn't you see? So Ra'ayara is see. In Arabic language, when you say didn't you see, it does not necessarily refer to see with the eye. Because when it is said, the Prophet ﷺ has not seen the story. The story was so much known among Arabs, it was like seeing. Because according to many people, the Prophet ﷺ actually was born 50 days after this story. Because this story happened in the month of Muharram or something like that. That is the time when Abraha's army was destroyed. And the Prophet ﷺ was born in the month of Rabiul Awwal. You can say Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal. So according to most narrators, he was born 50 days after the story, after the incident of invading the Kaaba by Abraha's army. So he was not there. But still Quran said, didn't you see? And when Quran says you, Quran does not always mean only the Prophet ﷺ. Quran means anybody who reads the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ says you, he's you, and you read the Quran, you are also you. Anybody who reads the Quran, they are you. So first is Prophet ﷺ, but then through him, everybody, Quran is asking, didn't you see? So seeing means, didn't you know? So sometimes, because seeing is one of the important source of the knowledge. So sometimes it is said, didn't you see? And the meaning is, didn't you know? Because it was such a nice story, famous story in our Arab people. Everybody knew that these are, actually there are so much poetic verses among Arab from Jahiliyyah, where they're proud that army came and they fought and and they defeated them and all those things mentioned. And they remember the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran says, Alam tara, didn't you see? Kayfa fa'ala rabbuka, how your Lord did, your Rabb did. Bi ashabil fil, with the people of the elephant. Fil means elephant, and its plural is Jama is afyalun. Ashabul fil, the people of the elephant. So it does not mean only one elephant. Arabic way is when you have one singular related to many people, it means a plural. For example, you say ashabul ra'i. Ra'i means opinion. Ashabul ra'i means people of the opinion. It does not mean they have only one opinion. It means millions of opinions, but still ashabul ra'i. Ashabul sunnah, ahlus sunnah. So ahlus sunnah, it's same thing. So ashabul fil means the people of the elephant. Means many elephants. According to one narration, 60,000 elephants were in the army. So did you see how your Lord did with the people? See, one of the amazing things is when Quran addressed to the Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always say Rabbuka, your Rabb. You can see the mercy, the rahmah, the relation between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and between Allah and between the Prophet and between the people. Rabbuka. Second thing you can see here is everybody who reads the Quran, they know that when Abraha and army came, who saved the house? Allah, Rabb. They know that their idols which are in the Kaaba, Lat and Manat and Uzza, they didn't know anything. Arabs actually never mentioned their history that when this army came, our idols did anything. No. They always mention that we threw the stone and Allah helped us. So they always mention help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they never mention any help from their gods. It never happened. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to say that, think really, you worship these idols, you worship Lat and Manat, you worship 360 idols in the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam. 360 idols were put in that small house. None of them moved. None of these idols came out from the temple to protect you. None of them came to fight on behalf of you. None of them actually made any harm against the army. You see this, you know this thing. Didn't you see that your Lord this? And that's true that Arab people believed all the time that the reason army was defeated is only Allah's favor. They know that their idols have done nothing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Didn't you see how your Lord has done with the people of the elephant? Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil. Didn't he make their strategy or their planning in failure? Tadlil. Because their planning was to come in a time when it is forbidden month, Ashar al-Hurum, when Arabs don't fight. Their strategy was to be in time when Arabs are tired and they want to leave their now Makkah to go to their houses. So they really had the best planning possible. And really it was impossible for Arabs at that moment to fight them properly. Because they are tired, they don't have weapon, they cannot fight them properly. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that time when Arabs actually know they cannot fight, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them to do something and Allah helped them. To Allah yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil. And then وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent upon them birds. Tayran means birds. Many birds they came. Ababil jama of ibbalatun. Ibbalatun means like when there is something in big amount. Meaning is Tayran Ababil. Those birds which came in the big crowds. Tayran Ababil coming in the crowd. Why the birds came? To account one version is birds came to stone them. That I don't agree. I follow the opinion of Mawla Farahi rahimahullah. Birds didn't come to stone them. Birds only came to eat them. So the story is mentioned is in summary, meaning Arab people, when they killed them, destroyed the army. So now so many people are killed. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the birds, they coming and they eating the flesh. So that also see how much humiliation there. They left nobody to bury them. No way to take in. The whole army has been destroyed. After the killing, after the death, people are buried. But these people, they are eaten by the birds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent upon them these birds which came there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent against them the flock of birds, and then Quran says tarmihim bihijaratin min sijil. Rama yarmi means in Arabic language to throw the stone. So it means hitting with the stones. Hijaratun is stone. Jam of hajar means stone. Sijil is a problem. What sijil means? But most I don't want to go in many different opinions. But the opinion that I prefer about sijil is it is actually a word, came in Arabic language earlier from Persian language. In Persian language, you have word sang gil. Sang means stone, and gil means soil. So mix of both of the mix of the stone and a mix of the clay. So clay stones basically. You can say gils means clay stones. أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent upon them birds which in flocks, تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. So those people who think that birds came to destroy them, they say تَرْمِيهِمْ, those birds were stoning them with the stones, with clay stones. But Mawlana Farai's opinion, no, tarmi means you were stoning them. Rama Yarmi also means two. Tarmi means you. In Arabic language, when you say yaf'alu, it means he does. When you say taf'alu, it has two meanings. Taf'alu can mean you do, and taf'alu also means she does. So tarmi can mean she, means they, the birds, or tarmi also can mean you. So Mawlana Farai's opinion is tarmihim bi hijaratin min sijil, you were stoning them, or you throwing the stones from clay stones upon them. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them كَعَصْفٍ. He made them like stubble, cropped by cattle. So like when cattle, animals, they eat the food, and then after that it becomes eaten. كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them like a stubble, ma'akul, which are cropped by the cattle. Meaning finish, because then the birds came and ate them and finished them. So anyway, so this is the summary of the story, and one of the greatest favor upon the Quraysh, in the known history, that when it is revealed, just for very fresh for them. Just some people actually still exist in Makkah al-Mukarramah who have seen this word happening. So Allah reminded, don't you see that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just out of His own favor and mercy, He saved you and saved this house from this thing. So this favor reminded for one purpose. What is the purpose is? Then the Quran is mentioning. There are many poetic verses from Quraysh at this moment, that how they really stoned the army, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defeated them with His own mercy, of His own favor, so that everybody, they used to recognize that. And one of the sits properly, put the feet right, yeah, that's like that. Yeah. So cover yours. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the Kaaba as center of the pilgrim and all the ibadah and everything properly. And actually in this story of al-Fil, there's also this message I repeated, which Ibrahim al-Salam actually has done, that the house will remain the center for the believers all the time. This house is to reunite them, and house will remain the place of the pilgrim all the time. So you can see really, those people who are connected to the house, they are one ummah, one nation. The house also symbol of, or maybe a secret to unite all the believers together. Meaning is, now there's no more, people are not divided into nations or in the groups. Basically, people are only divided into believers or unbelievers. This division of the people in the tribes and in the nations and the group and the language and all those things, they're finished. Now this house is going to make people at one people. Those who turn to the house, those who come for the Hajj, they're one people. They could be from different race, but race is not a factor to divide them. And actually that was the message of Ibrahim al-Islam, that to make people to be lost, make people to become part of this millah, where they turn away from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they worship Allah alone, they surrender to Him, don't do any shirk. So people should have only one identity, and that is submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim al-Islam's way was, people from everywhere in the world, they come to this house, whatever their race is, it doesn't matter, as long as they're human being, they can come. So that's why Iqbal said, बुताने रंग बू को तोड़कर मिल्लत में गुम हो जा, न तूरानी रहे बाकी न ईरानी न अफगानी. Break all the idols of race, language, color, break all of them. You are not a Turani, you are not an Irani, you are not Afghani. Turan, used to be a place in Central Asia where Sunni used to live. So Sunni and Shia always to fight. He used to say, you are not a Turani, you are not Irani, you are not Afghani, you are just Muslim. तो बुताने रंग बू को तोड़ कर मिल्लत में गुम हो जा, न तुरानी रहे बाकी, न ईरानी, न अफ़गानी. Break all the idols. That was the millah of Ibrahim. Ibrahim's millah is to break every idol and just become part of the one millah, one nation, one people, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, Iqbal says one of the poetic verses, इस दौर में अक़वाम की मोहब्बत भी हुई आम, पोशीदा निगाहों से रही वहते आदम. तफरीक़ मिलल हिकमत अफ़रंग का मकसूद, इस्लाम का मकसूद फ़क़त मिल्लत आदम. European people, their purpose is to divide the humanity, divide them. You are this nationality, so many nationalities. When they came India, divide them so many nations. So the purpose of European people is to divide the world by the nations. Islam ka maqsood faqat millat Adam. The purpose of Islam is to unite people for one millah, just one millah. Everybody is part of the same millah. The European people, they want to divide people on the basis of race or the language and the nationality. You can see so many boundaries within even in Britain. You have got so many nations. You have people Irish and Scottish and this and that. Everybody divided. But Islam ka maqsood faqat millat Adam. Islam has only one thing, and that is to unite people behind the millah. मक्के ने दिया खाके जनेवा को ये पैगाम, जमीयत अक़वाम की जमीयत आदम. Makkah sent a message to Geneva, because Geneva is where the main headquarters of United Nations. So the message came from Makkah that you want United Nations, or you want the unity of the humanity. Because United Nations is what? It means first you divide people, many nations, and then you say united to United Nations. While Islamic message is no, unity of the Adam. They are not divided. They are same people. So which one is actually see? So message from Makkah is unity of the humanity, and message from Geneva is unity of the nations and people and the group. So no doubt really, the Kaaba actually is the center of the pilgrim. Actually is a place to unite the people. So in Surah, as I mentioned, Surah al-Fil, the message is very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how he portrayed the Kaaba from army. Why he did this? By doing this, because if Kaaba had been destroyed, Arabs have no income, Quraysh had no place to go. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the reason he did this, لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. You can see this surah is like connected to the first surah. Lam means for. The meaning is why he did destroy them? For this purpose, لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, to make Quraysh to become familiar, to become it becomes easy for them to help Quraysh, to لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ So ilaf means to provide security, to make it something easy. The meaning is ilaf Qurayshin, to provide security and easiness for Quraysh. The reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has saved the Kaaba from this army to ilaf Quraysh, to provide security and to provide easiness for Quraysh. Ilafihim rihlat ash-shita'i was-sayf, to provide easiness and security for them in their travel of winter and summer. So in the winter and the summer, they used to have two journeys for their trade. In the winter, they used to go to Yemen, and they used to make a lot of money, the trade going on to Yemen. In the summer, they used to go to Sham, to Syria. So all the time they keep coming. So Allah, that was their income. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the reason Allah portrayed the Kaaba is to provide Arabs security, because the Kaaba is the reason why people love them. And the Quran mentioned that don't you see that we made a haram for you where you are safe, while everybody else, they are not safe. Life around the haram in whole Arabia was not safe. Arab people, whenever they find anybody weak, they used to kill them, take their money, attacking people, are raiding the caravan. And robbery, it was very common in every part of Arabia. Only Makkah was saved from this thing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded Arab Quraysh people Don't you see what happened? Allah did this only to help you, to favor upon you. Otherwise, everybody else, everywhere else, like Arab people, one of the words, وَحَيَانًا عَلَى بَكْرٍ أَخِينَ وَأَحْيَانًا عَلَى بَكْرٍ أَخِينَا إِذَا مَا لَمْ نَجِدْ إِلَّا خَانًا. We only read. Sometimes we read on our brothers, if you don't find anybody else, so they used to raid and take money and wealth and kill the people. But Quraysh people, they were safe. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. To provide security for people of Quraysh, security to them in the journey, in the winter, in the summer. So much coming, wealth coming, money coming. So Kaaba basically guarantee for them that the wealth keep coming to Makkah al-Mukarramah. So now what the duty is? You get so much wealth, so much money, protection, you get security, you get money. But what are you going to do? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them to do two things. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. Then the Quraysh people, they must worship the Lord of this house. Rabb of this house, who has made this house, and because of the house, he gave you all security and he gave you all the wealth, and you should worship him. الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. The Lord who fed them when they are hungry. You can see Makkah does not grow anything, nothing grown here. It is only because the house, Meccan people got income. Because the house, pilgrims come from everywhere, you make a business with them, and because the house, you travel, you go to Makkah, you go to Yemen, you go to Syria, and you get more and more income. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ, the one who fed them from hunger. وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. Just sit properly, sit, put your leg like here. Yeah, that's better. الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. One who fed them from the hunger, وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ, and gave them security from the fear. So because the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Arab people, Quraysh people, they don't have hunger. The two ways. One is the pilgrims come in Makkah, you made money from them, and also because you yourself travel to Yemen and Sham, and people respect you. They say that you are the people of the Kaaba, they respect you. And so you have got security and you got the food. So these two things, they made obligatory upon you that you must worship your Lord. And also second thing, which is not mentioned here but hinted, and next surah is coming very clearly, you have to feed the food to the poor people. So when people come to Makkah al-Mukarramah, be generous to them. If you have to sell food to them, don't take too much money, make it cheaper. Actually, I remember, once I was in Hajj, Imam al-Haram was reminding the people that during the time of Hajj, make the rent of the houses lower. People can make money, but not so much money. Be good for the people. And actually, the Prophet ﷺ himself has advised the people of Makkah, when pilgrims come, they should leave Makkah for outsiders, and they go and live in mountain for a while. But you cannot imagine how much business now is now because this hotel. That actually, I always have been thinking the best thing would have been if people want to make money, make these hotels like 20, 30 kilometers far away from Haram, and provide them transport. So rich people, if they want to stay in the big hotel, they stay there. And, they come into, and other people, they remain in modest houses around Makkah, and they can come and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now to have such huge buildings, around the Kaaba, so Kaaba has disappeared. Actually, what you can see really is these huge buildings. Instead of Kaaba being the attraction, now attraction is the market. If you go, you can see the shops. They have more people sometimes than anywhere. All the time, people are just buying and selling. That was not the purpose of Ibrahim Islam. He wanted to, he wanted Hanifiya. He wanted people to turn away from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it becomes something else. So it means business in Makkah was the means to help people of Quraysh to live there for the whole year, and they can then worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it became itself end, and people left worshipping the Lord of the house, and they just became busy in making more and more money. Okay, so I leave it here, inshallah, and if you have any questions, please ask.
Quick question. You said the people of Makkah, when Abraha came, threw stone made out of clay. And you said Allah turned it into something else. What was it turned into? Is there any narrations or what the stones were turned into? When the stones were thrown towards the elephant?
You see, when they threw the stone, stones are not so powerful that they can kill such a big army. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they throw the stone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the stone so powerful, when it hit one person, he died. So that's what happens. They're killing people with the stones. Consider really, sometimes people are killed by bullets, they don't die. And now you kill people with hit people with the stones and they die. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think really, can you destroy the whole army by throwing the stones? No. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'm trying to say, some people think that when the stones were thrown by the birds. This actually goes against the whole history of Arab people. Arabs are not like that. They used to fight for anything. Don't you think they will fight for the house? This house is their honor. And not them, even small tribes, wherever the army of Abraham passed, they used to fight them. Small people. So why not Quraysh? So, the fighting happened, but fighting happened when actually Arab Quraysh did not have weapons. And these people have weapons. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped, like in Battle of Badr. Allah helped the Prophet and his followers.
Shaykh, Jazakallah khairan, 2 questions. The arrangement of the verses, if the people did stone them and then the birds came and ate their flesh, why is the order of the surah the other way around? وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ, then it's تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ.
Sometimes what happens is the Quran mentions the main part of the story, and then Quran mentions some details later on. It happens very often to end. The meaning is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants his favor, and the result of the favor was that this humiliation, the birds are coming and after destruction, birds are coming and eating them, that he mentioned. But then it comes in detail why the birds are eating, because you did and you killed them. So sometimes in the story you mention the end part before, so people know the story properly, because he's mentioning Allah's favor upon the people. So you see, don't see Allah's favor upon you, so much favor that this army came and the birds were eating them. Then the details are coming how تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ, because you were throwing the stones upon them, and then because that you made the فَجَعَلْهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, they're like eaten, and then no doubt the birds are coming and they eat them. So but the birds have been mentioned before to summarize the story, to mention the end result before. So people can see really that how big is the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Because according to that first narration, the ababil are a special type of bird.
No, ababil doesn't mean any bird.
What's the significance of the
people
word
think
ababil?
Ababil is a bird. Ababil is not a bird. Ababil is in Arabic jama' of ibbalatun. Ibbalatun basically means the food that is eaten by the animal, and if they put on the top of fish, that means like a big like pail. So that's what ababil means. Ibbalatun. Ibbalatun does not mean any type of bird. It does not mean that. Fire means birds, and ababil means crowds, folks, the big numbers, they're coming.
If it was birds, then it is possible that if the birds were high enough and the stones were strong enough, it can actually cut through flesh. So I was thinking,
what can do?
If the birds were high enough and the stones were heavy enough, it is possible that it can cut through flesh and bone.
No, it's not possible. Even actually, when Quraysh are hitting with the stones, it is a miracle. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't kill the whole army by stoning. It is not that stones cannot do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything. But the problem actually in the story is, then you have to assume that Arabs did not fight.
Couldn't it be both the birds and the Quraysh?
But you have to, where it is mentioned the Quraysh are fighting. If you say the birds are fighting, then Quraysh are not mentioned. Quran has only one thing, tarmihim. Tarmihim either can refer to birds or refer to Quraysh. Who is stoning? And actually this this more likely that Quraysh actually fighting whatever they can do, and then after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them, and then birds came and ate them. That actually more likely. If birds are stoning, why birds is stoning mentioned and Quraysh not mentioned? Because you can see when this army passed by small tribes from Yemen to Makkah, every tribe fought them. Everybody fought them. They did not let them to go so easily. And Quraysh were the main people. They don't fight them. They run away from battlefield.
You sure? You want to? Well, question. We want to keep a variety of questions. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused about two parts of that alternative story. If it was during the time of Hajj, wouldn't the tribes all have been in Makkah, so there wouldn't have been anyone to fight them along the way?
So, what is the question?
So if it was during the time of Hajj, wouldn't the tribes have all have been in Makkah at the time?
They were in Mina. Tribes were in Mina because that's the last day of Mina. They were in Mina, and that's why the army came in Muhassar. In Muhassar is a place, when we go for visit tomorrow, you can see Muhassar is in a valley in Mina. The army was there, and then stoned on the, on the army from there, and it was destroyed. That in Mina, you stay anywhere but not in Muhassar, because Muhassar is the place where they have been punished, these people. Actually, Mawla Faraj also thinking is this is stoning in Mina. Then you stone 3 pillars. It's actually memory of this story, reminding of that is stoning. That is story, basically coming from this story. Because this story, Rami in Mina, no link to anything. The only thing actually is more likely is this story. Because Quraysh, they stoned this army, it was destroyed in Mina, in Muhassar. So now in Mina, every year, basically believers, they stoned 3 pillars like symbol. They stoned them to remind them that we are going to defend this house always. We are defenders of the house. So stoning the pillars in the Mina is basically like a covenant. Believers take every year that we will defend this house, defending the house. That's what Rami means. So Rami is symbol of that story. Okay.
Is there anyone else with a question? No. You got no. Anyone new? No.
See if the women have any question. Okay, yeah.
Regarding the nature of the Quraysh, weren't they seen as insignificant by the Persians and the Romans? And weren't they sort of inferior to them? So in terms of fighting, would they have actually fought a power, as powerful as Abraha?
Quraysh, no doubt, our Roman Empire and Persian Empire, they're huge. And Arabs, they don't have those resources. So they always think they're a Bedouin, they don't have anything like that. But they also knew that Arabs are fighters. That's why you can see both Romans and Persians, that part of army used to be from Arab. They used to make Arab in their army, fight for them. So Arabs were good fighters, everybody knew, though Arabs were not so rich. But another thing is, Arabs did not have power to invade Roman Empire or Persian Empire. But certainly, if you attack them, they have to defend them. It's another matter. For example, weak people, they don't attack. But if you attack them, they will fight. Weak people still want to fight. Quraysh people, it could be that they are not going to fight Abraha in Yemen. But if Abraha comes to Yemen, to Makkah, they will fight. If you read the history of Arab people, they fight on any small thing. One of the major battle in Arab history is what they say, battle of the Hassan Ghabra, which lasted for 150 years. And the reason basically the 2 tribes, Banu Afs and Banu Zubiyan, the war started because the camel of Banu Afs or Banu Zubiyan, they drank water from the water before the camel of other tribe. So they become angry. Well, how can your camel drink water before my camel? And then fought that. And this fighting continued for 150 years. This on this matter. To think really people come to destroy the Kaaba and they will just go to mountains. It's impossible for their character. They used to fight for every single thing. So they must resist whatever they can do, but the resistance was not enough to destroy the army. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning his favor. He is the one who did.
Sheikh, this is so before any other one? You got so I'm going to keep we'll make this the last question if it's okay. If there's another question, we'll continue the next session because we've got 5 minutes break for the next session.
It's just a quick question. Did the Arabs have any sort of peace agreement or covenant with the Romans and Persians at the time?
Arabs had an agreement. No, Arabs are tribes. They are not basically like a country, or they are not a state and not a power to make any agreement with anybody. Actually, because Arabs are like Bedouin tribes. Quraysh were settlement, but most of the Arabs are not like that. On each border, like Persian border, they used to have Arab people, basically in the city. They are called, people of Hira. The people of Hira, Banu Manadira, Nu'man Mundir. To the Arab rulers, it basically on the frontiers of the Persian Empire into Arab. So they are the big people. Similarly, on the Roman Empire and the frontier, among Arab people, there are Ghasasina, the Arab rulers. Arab used to have two empires, basically two states, you can say. Two states, one on the front of Roman Empire, of Syrian, that we call Ghasasina. And second one is on the, between Arab people and between Iran, that is Manadira. So and these two people, Ghasasina and Manadira, they actually used to other Arab tribes to have like a loyalty with them. Not everybody. So sometimes loyalty used to change. That's how it happened. But rest of Arab, they're like Bedouin. So nobody cared about them. But these people were powerful, Ghasasina and Manadira. But they were either under Roman Empire or under Persian Empire. Some kinds of affiliation.